Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how I use my 25% TCA peel by Dermavant. Dermavant has a wide variety of chemical peels, perfect for those that are targeting anything from hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, texture, and acne. They have peels that are beginner friendly, so they're perfect for those esties that are just starting. I've been an esthetician for 7.5 years and I've been using Dermavant ever since, and I've never had any issues. While Dermavant has a really wide variety of different chemical peels and levels, here I'm going to be showing you how I use the 25% TCA peel. Now, if you're brand new to chemical peels, I don't suggest jumping to a 25% TCA, especially if this is your client's first chemical peel and first TCA peel. Dermavant does have 15% TCA peels, and I would recommend that you start off with that, which is a more medium depth peel. This one is a deeper peel. TCA peels are effective in treating various skin concerns, including sun damage, wrinkles, uneven skin tone, and acne scars. Now, the model that I'm using is my sister, so I've done countless peels on her, so her skin can definitely handle a 25% TCA. As you can see, I started off by cleansing her skin, and I do prefer to use a more drying cleanser, as you do want the skin to be kind of bone dry when you do apply the peel on it, so I used something that is more for acne-prone skin. After cleansing, this is where you want to do your extractions. If there's any extractions that you want to do, get rid of those before the peel. If you're still not too comfortable doing extractions, then I recommend just skipping this step because you don't want to actually break the skin. However, if you are comfortable with doing extractions and you are not breaking the skin, not causing the skin to bleed, then you can go ahead and do this step. After the extractions, I'm using 99% alcohol, and that's just to dehydrate the skin. I know some people like to use acetone. I'm not one of those people. I do not like to use acetone. I'm going to be applying the chemical peel with a brush. However, if it is a new client, she's never had a peel before, I would recommend that you use gauze to apply the peel just because it gives you a thinner layer. If you are using a 15% TCA, you're going to follow the same exact steps. So if it is their first time, you're going to be using gauze. Instead of a brush, the brush will give you a deeper application. My client, which is my sister, has had several peels before, so she can handle this. So what we're looking for here is frosting, and frosting, as you can see, is starting around the chin area. It's starting to turn white, and so when it starts to turn white like that, that's when it's ready to be neutralized. I applied more on the cheek area because I felt like the cheek was not frosting as fast as the chin. I'm gonna start with neutralizing the chin area just because it's frosting much faster than the rest of her face. The reason that I do this in sections and not all over the face is just so that I have more control over neutralizing the areas that are frosting, especially if you are melanated. You do not want to have your melanated client frosting way too much, and if they are melanated, I would highly suggest only sticking with a 15% TCA peel, and that's after you've already introduced their skin to other types of peels first. So here you can see the cheek frosted really well. It is a little bit splotchy, but that's okay. It's gonna have a really nice even peel. It's gonna peel a little bit deeper on the chin area, but that's totally fine. I'm happy with this result, so I'm gonna move on to another part of the face. And so I neutralize up until, she's holding a fan, by the way, which really helps with soothing the pain. The pain level is pretty high for a 25% TCA peel, although it does only last a few seconds. I'm satisfied. I'm gonna move on to another area of the face. So I don't do the whole face, just like I said, so that I have more control over it. And before you do a TCA peel on your client, you want to make sure that your client has not exfoliated, used any retinols, glycolic acid, or any type of really deep exfoliating product, or had sun exposure for at least a week before her peel. You also want to make sure that your client has not done any methods of hair removal on the face or wherever you're doing it on the body before this TCA peel. If you are using gauze, your frosting is going to be way more subtle than this. This, however, is the depth of frosting that I prefer for my sister. If it is a new client and this is her first peel, I would have started her on a 15% like I mentioned, and I would have used gauze. And then after that, if all goes well, then the next time I would use a 25% if I feel fit, or I would just do another 15% TCA peel on her second time. So here you can see again, she's frosting much faster on her chin area, which is normal. Some people frost faster on their cheek area, some people frost faster. It depends, everybody's skin is a little bit different. Also, if the client has eczema, you definitely want to avoid this peel. I would suggest you start off with a much gentler peel, something a little bit different. Dermavant does have a really wide variety of peels. I'm going to be showing you how I use the other peels. You want to introduce your client's skin to chemical peels before you dive right into a TCA peel. This peel I would have used on somebody that has really bad cystic acne, like I said, after I've already introduced their skin to other peels. But also if somebody has really bad sun damage, wrinkles, you can apply this around the eye area as well, after some experience, of course, and with your comfort level increasing with the peels. I'm neutralizing, and then I'm going to move on to her forehead. If there's any areas that you want to avoid on the face when it comes to the peel, and you do not want the peel to touch that area of the skin, such as the corners of the mouth or the creases of the nose, where people do get a lot of dryness, then I would suggest, if you're new to this, then to apply Vaseline in those areas. I avoided the creases of her nose anyways, just because she does tend to get a little bit drier there, and there is redness there, so I avoided those, and I just actually put it on the bridge of her nose. Some people do get a lot of dryness around the mouth area, like the bottom of the mouth near the chin. If the client does get dry in those areas, even if you don't see it, ask the client if she does get dry patches there, then apply Vaseline and avoid those areas with the peels. Although not all of the chemical peels do require a neutralizing spray, this one definitely does. So the Dermavant peels do come with instruction cards, and then they do also come with neutralizing sprays and fan brushes. However, if you're not ready to use a fan brush, I would recommend getting gauze. You have to apply the peels in glass dishes. Do not apply it in steel, metal, no plastic, only glass dishes. And the bottles are 30 milliliters, sorry, 30 milliliters. And so they will last you a really long time. You only need a tiny bit in the dish. I don't know exactly how many clients this will last you, but it's definitely going to run you over 10 to 15 uses. You could stretch it to 20 for 100%, but if you are using it on areas of the body, obviously you're going to require more of the solution. If you do run out of the neutralizer spray, you can get a spray bottle and you can just mix distilled water with baking soda, and that will help neutralize the peel. Like I said, not all the chemical peels require a neutralizing spray, but the TCA peels definitely do. So after a really intense peel like this, you're really gonna need a super hydrating mask, something that's really gonna calm and soothe the skin, especially because the skin is gonna be kind of hot. So if the client is experiencing heat, that's normal. But if they're experiencing still a burning sensation, then you need to ask them if they still feel any burning, so that you can go over that area and apply the solution, the neutralizer spray again. So heat is fine, but not burning. So this is going to help calm and soothe her skin. I'm going to leave it on for about 10 minutes. And you do not want to use any hot towels after this. You want to remove it with cool water, and preferably maybe like sponges or cotton pads. Also, when you do begin to remove the mask, have really, really, really gentle pressure. They're gonna feel almost like these little needles on their skin. It doesn't hurt afterwards, like the peel is not supposed to hurt afterwards, but when you touch it, it is a little bit tender. And so here I'm applying a really thick hydrating peptide moisturizer. I'm applying the eye cream, and then I'm going to finish off with a lip treatment. I would have done the same exact steps if this was a 15% TCA. The only thing that would differ, if it's a new client, I would have used gauze or a brush, and that's everything.